everybody, it's Pigpen, the one and only. Welcome to the live stream. I don't know how we made it here. Some super miracle happened, but I'm here with my guest, Stephen Conlin Jr., aka Roush Sport. How you doing, Stephen?
What's going on, everybody? I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Whew, I'm glad you're here, man. We spent the last 45 minutes troubleshooting all sorts of technical difficulties. Hopefully everybody can hear. We'll figure it out if you can't. So anyways, guys, let me introduce to you Stephen Conlin Jr., a.k.a. Roush Sport. Well, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and your racing rivals background, let's say.
Well, all right. A little bit about me. You guys may know me on the forum as Roush Sport. Used to be a forum moderator, and I say used to be because once the forum's moderated over to, or I should say, located over to the Glue servers, Glue changed the platform that the forum runs on. I've kind of backed away from it because there's a lot of things that still need to be fixed with that. Been playing the game since the CIE days. I literally came on board right as CIE was being converted over to Glue. Became very good friends with Wrist and have been playing ever since.
Nice. All right. So the reason I have you on, there's a few reasons, and I want to start talking about them all because it's one of the most interesting stories. One of the most interesting stories, like racing rivals related, is well, we're going to talk about your car. And there's that. There's the Player Summit. Like, oh, what was that? Like maybe 9 months ago? Not quite a year, but 9 months ago or something like that. We had an opportunity. We had the Player Summit out in California, and 9 months has passed, and I haven't had a single guest on really that we've actually talked in depth about that Player Summit, what happened, and what we got out of it. Hey, Ryan, we got some interesting characters in the live chat here, including
I'm
my
watching your
admin
live stream and
What's that?
I'm watching the live chat and it's interesting.
I'm telling you, I try to watch it. I'm trying to listen into you. I'm juggling a bunch of stuff here. So I hope the audio levels are good for you guys. We've had a few issues earlier, and I hope we worked them out. My buddy Edward Lopez is here, and of course, Beast Gaming. Okay, so let's get right to it. Let's talk about your car, because this is one of the most interesting things. I don't know, I'm not going to say in all racing rivals, but man, is it up there. And like, it's from video game to reality. And what I'm talking about is this. Let me show you guys a car. You guys remember this. Let me go to my photos right here. This is the 2015 Ford Mustang Race Edition. Do you guys remember this? This was like a wrapped prize car, gold wheels for the first place winner. Really awesome car. I gotta say, in my humble opinion, this is probably one of the coolest wraps in the game. This was when, before they started loading them up, I mean, we've tried different. I don't want to get into that, but anyways, this is one of my favorite wraps. And is it safe to say, Stephen, this Roush Sport, sorry, is it safe to say that this is one of your favorite wraps?
Yeah, I would say that's safe to say. Yeah.
Safe to say. And why is that? Well, now for some reason, and I want to hear your story, like how it all came about, what made you decide to do this. But check this out, guys. Like I said, from video game to reality. Check this out. This is freaking awesome. This is Roush's real life Ford Mustang. Why don't you tell everybody about this Ford Mustang and what year it is and all that good stuff there, Roush?
Okay. The car itself, it's a 2005 Roush Sport Edition GT Mustang. It's one of 242 that were made, and this particular model year, mine is actually one of roughly 85 that were made, because in the middle of the production run, they actually changed the car and changed the rear bumper. Okay. So it's a pretty rare car in and of itself.
Right.
As you can see, it's wrapped to look very similar to the turf car that was in, or I should say is in, Racing Rivals. For those that want to know power-wise, right now it's putting 440 horse at the rear tire. Yes, I do race it from time to time, do a lot of car shows. I'm very well known in the local area where I live in Pennsylvania. The car turns a lot of heads, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the car, it pretty much speaks for itself. It's my pride and joy.
It's a beautiful, beautiful car. I mean, without the wrap, but it's extra special because of the wrap. Because here we have something in the game that everybody wanted. This car was so sought after in the game. One of the coolest cars out there. And then here it is, boom, real life from the game to your driveway. I love this. I just love the way this thing looks. It's a little different than the wrap, obviously, the in-game, but I'm telling you, this thing is so freaking beautiful. Now, does it look this good? Is it just the pictures? Does it look this good in real life?
Um, if I'm honest, in my opinion, it looks better in real life because
Uh,
in real life you get the sound that goes with it,
oh, well, I have a
and it
video
sounds
clip
almost
too.
like a pro mod drag car.
I have a video clip. So here's a few more screenshots here. We'll go through and I just want to kind of show people. So, I mean, this is probably one of, like, if I can't say in all video game, in the history of video games, I'm sure there's a few people that have really taken it to the extreme, like maybe body modification. But this is probably one of the best examples of something that somebody's taken from a video game and to put in it into real life. And I just love it. I just love it, man. This is an awesome car. Now, this is my favorite. You can't see it, but my viewers, our viewers right now can see it. This is one of my favorite pictures. You're probably watching the live stream. It's a little bit delayed, but this is one of my favorite pictures of your car right here. And it's from the, must be from the front passenger corner viewing out. And it's
Yep.
in a gravel, it's side of the road, and it's just really nice. So I messed around with Photoshop, and I think I showed you a little bit yesterday, but I messed around with Photoshop, and I did a little something for you. I Photoshopped it on the track with some gold wheels and background with the stand with some people in it. I thought it was kind of fun just for, live stream sake. I thought it was cool. So make a really cool poster or something. So maybe I just do this stuff on my, on my spare time. I really like it. So I saw this and I was like, you know what? I'm going to show it on
Yeah,
the
that's
live stream. So
be really cool if you could print it out, frame it, and autograph it. I would have a one of a kind
you'd
signed
want
by
me to ruin it
Pigpen
with my
for
autograph.
my car.
I can do that for you. I can ruin anything with my autograph. So while we're talking about your car, I'm going to just show you guys a clip really, really quick, and we're going to move on with the live stream. We have so much to talk about here. We're going to move on to the Players Summit, what happened, all sorts of details, good stuff. We'll talk about the game because I know you guys are dying to hear about the game, but I thought this was so interesting that I wanted to share it with you. Now, here's a little video of you. Now, this must be in Pennsylvania.
This was actually at Atco, New Jersey,
Oh,
and this
New
was a
Jersey.
grudge match race between a good friend of mine that actually lives right across the street from my parents. And we
Oh,
have a little unspoken competition between the two cars.
I love it. Unspoken competition. All right, well, here it is. Have a look, guys. Enjoy. There it is, guys. You saw the man in action. Now I have to ask, when those cars passed the cameraman, I have to say, it looks like your friend had just a bit of an edge on you. Did you win that race?
If I'm honest, unfortunately, no. That race, he beat me by about a half a fender.
Oh, I was going to say,
So,
it looked very close as you guys passed, but I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt, but kudos for you for being honest. So
yeah, no worries.
there
So
you
we
go.
actually we raced twice that day. The first race I beat him, but we were kind of taking it easy, getting a
Uh-huh.
feel for the track and seeing
Yep.
how the cars were going to handle.
Uh-huh.
And the second race, we had a good time, and I spun coming out of the gate, and he laughed all the way to the finish line. So,
Oh, you spun. Oh, don't you hate when that happens?
well, it's
So
when it's
yeah,
40 degrees outside and you're on drag radials, it's it makes it hard to
yeah,
hook.
yeah. So somebody says here, super. It sounds beautiful. Nice job. lot of positive comments here about your car. I gotta say, man, I
Yeah.
really love it, and it's a prime example of the best example that I can think of how somebody has taken something from a video game and transformed it into real life. Man,
Yep.
really love it. So let's
Say
move
thank
on.
you and yeah, thank you and thank you to your viewers.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. So let's move on. I'm gonna just go and open up the game here, and we're going to just talk about, let's just talk about the player summit. So you obviously being the forums guy, moderator guy, you were invited to the players summit.
Yep.
Now, what was your impression of the players summit? Did you enjoy it? Did you think, let's talk about it. What did you think, how did you think it went down?
Well, I mean, as an overall perspective, I think it was very interesting. I give Carbonated a lot of credit for being willing to bring us out there and kind of get the lay of the land, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak, from the players themselves
Yeah.
before they started changing things. So, I mean, like in my professional career, I've seen times where companies jump into something not having really any idea of what it is that they're jumping into.
Right.
And they start tweaking things before they talk to the guys that are in the trenches, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And this time around, it seemed like, they took us out there and, as you know, and can speak to, they more or less wanted to pick our brains and find out what we liked, what we didn't like,
Mm-hmm.
things that could be changed for the better, things that could be changed for the sake of change, and things that could be left alone,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely that was the whole thing about it was just to pick our brains. I mean, if anything, here's a huge, wide open resource, resources of players to even playing the game. I don't know, collectively, I don't know. I mean, between however many people, there must have been 15, 20 years of time, collectively added up. And with all that experience, it would be, silly not to find out what is exactly about the game that people like, what brings us coming back. And second, real quick before I get sidetracked, Beast Gaming here said you should give rides out $20 a ride, make your money back.
Let's be honest. I mean, if you guys have seen the crowd killing and crowd hitting stuff that's famous on YouTube when it comes to Mustangs, maybe you guys could pay me, or I should pay you to go for a ride with me. Who knows?
Yes. So, as far as the player summit, I mean, we got there and I liked how it was, the parts of it were live streamed. I believe it was
Yeah.
on, I'm going from memory here, but I believe it was on the Carbonated Twitch channel.
Yep.
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 And I
If
like that.
memory
We got
serves,
to
they had
talk and
video
kind of
issues.
bring up issues and talk about things of that nature. My big thing is, and I don't, how do you feel? Do you feel the information we gave them was implemented? Do you feel it made an impact in the game? How do you feel?
If I'm totally honest, I mean, like when I went to the summit, me personally, as a representative of the forums and as the community, I kind
Mm-hmm.
of, when we were given the chance to offer our ideas,
Mm-hmm.
I offered some that I wanted to see from a personal standpoint, and then I also offered as many as I could that had come from the forums
Yeah.
that were within reason. I mean, you have guys that want to change the game entirely, and then you have guys that, they want this car in the game or they want that car in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't really necessarily understand the behind the scenes when it comes to licensing and permissions and how all that
Right.
kind of stuff works.
There's so much
Um,
going on in the backgrounds that's very
yeah,
relevant, but not too many
to quote
people understand
someone,
it. I don't understand it, and I'm guessing maybe that between the two of us, we could barely scratch the surface of knowledge of actually what goes on behind the scenes. But we did see a little sneak peek behind the curtain, and
right?
I gotta say there were some things that I thought went really well, and they were really receptive of, and others that I'm not going to say they weren't or aren't receptive of, but maybe over time, things will be implemented. Rome wasn't built in a day. So
Right.
to have all of this information crammed and jammed and there's a lot of stuff that's pressing in the game right now. I mean, my biggest thing that I feel is I think we need more new players. Like right now, we need new players, and I wish like everybody who played, like everybody, all of everybody watching right now, I don't care. I wish you would just show the game to your neighbor, to your friends. If you have friends that don't play, have them play. Tell them to set up an account, and get them involved in the game. Like, I feel the more people that play, the better off, the more excitement that's out there, and stuff of that nature. So I just my
Was that
big.
you
I'm sorry.
go to the extreme of wrapping your car and go to car shows and talk the game up that way?
There you go. Anything. I mean, I just feel like we got to get the word out there. We got to get new players out there, and that's the thing that kind of. I mean, I see advertisements for all sorts of video games. Like, even here, when you watch a video and you're installing something and you watch that video to speed it up, you see videos of other mobile games. Now, I don't know if when you're playing those mobile games, if you're watching the videos to speed it up, do they show commercials for racing rivals? Because I've never seen a commercial for racing rival. I'm not saying they're not out there, but I've never seen one. And I just feel like some time invested and money invested in a small little trailer commercial to get it out there, to get people, because word of mouth is really slow right now. And to get that, put that video out there to get more viewers, I think is very important. And
I couldn't agree more.
I think it's imperative for the survival of not just this game, but any game. You have to have new players coming in. And I don't know. The Jeep Wrangler Race Edition for Joe. I love it. For those of you who don't know, I drive a Jeep Wrangler, an '08 Jeep Wrangler. I bought that thing 13 miles on it, and it's still under 100,000 miles, but it's getting a little bit. I haven't been I haven't babied that thing, let's say. So, but that would be awesome. A Jeep Wrangler RE. That'd be so funny. So, but I think it's imperative to get new players, new fresh blood. Like, I work for a company, and I don't even want to say the name. I worked for them for 7 years. I've worked for my current company for 10 years or more, but before that, for 7 years, I worked for a company, and most despicable company in the world. But I did learn one thing from them: is you have to have a constant, fresh supply of new accounts coming in, because without that, that's your lifeline, that's your future. Without it coming in, it's not looking good. It's pretty grim. So we got to get new players. So each and every one of you out there, tell you what, go and talk it up to your friends, your neighbors, your cousins. It's the holiday season. You see your cousins coming in from out of state. Show them Racing Rivals. Get them involved, man. I'm hooked. I love it. If you love it, there's no reason they wouldn't love it. That's the way I see it. So, but other than that, the Players Summit, man, did you like? There's one. I don't know. There's like a lot of things. The biggest thing I think they spent time on, and this is where I give a 2 thumbs down. Like, most everything they've done, I say, thumbs up, really good. But the whole tachometer, that was something I don't think was needed, and I don't think it was necessary. They said, or at least I heard at one point, it was for um, a way for new players to become to what's the word I'm looking for? So they didn't get just steamrolled, so they could be competitive, And
Right. I should say it dulls the learning curve. It's not as sharp. We'll put it that way.
right, but do you think it accomplished that? I mean, I don't know. I don't.
Um, I would say yes and no. Yes, because from a new player perspective, it
Mhm,
more or less teaches you where to shift a car. But when you shift from a player to an intermediate and or experienced player,
mhm,
that's when you learn that what they say is a perfect shift, depending on the car and depending on the particular build that you have
mhm.
on the car.
Yep.
Perfect is not necessarily perfect in a matter of speaking.
Yeah.
So it's in a way it's good, in a way it's bad, all at the same time.
Yeah, and to me personally, I thought there could have been a bigger bang for your buck if, time and energy and resources were spent elsewhere. I just didn't see that being make or break for the game. Now, I know new players were definitely getting eaten up alive, but I think they were getting eaten up alive more for, getting scammed in lobbies and such like that, which they did a good job of fixing that. I like the way they fixed it. You can still join a friend. You can still race and transfer cars and buy, sell, even though that's not supported. But you can still do that. They didn't kill it. But what they did do is they kept people from lobby jumping and scamming new players for the most part. Um,
Yeah.
so I like that, but I felt that time and energy could have been a little bit better spent in other areas of the game, improving it, and trying to get some new players in. So there was that. Um, what else did we do at the Players Summit?
I lost a car to wrist. I do remember
Yeah,
that.
didn't he crush it or something?
Yeah, no, he kept it and then put it on display on all the monitors as kind of a ha ha. Roush called me out, and look, he can't drive a Mustang. So,
You never did get that big back, did you?
yeah, he did end up giving it back.
Oh, he
So he
did.
took pity on me and hooked me up.
Oh, Rich is a good guy. I always like Rich. I can't say I have anything bad to say about Rich. Good guy. I saw he really knew. He had a really good perspective on the video game industry from a player, from an insider, and he had a really good way to mesh the two together to create a balance and a working system for both sides. And I really like that about him. And he's just an overall
Yeah,
great guy, I think. I still talk to him from time to
I have to
time
give
on
him.
Facebook and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
I have to give him a lot of credit because that's where a lot of my understanding of the behind the scenes of the game came from, is
yeah,
from conversations with him.
yeah. Lorenzo Poole says, fix the logging in after you trade your car. Now, I kind of figured something out the other day. I was transferring over some of these ones. Where are they at? I think it's on this account. These little gumdrop cars. Hold on. There we go. These gumdrop cars right here. I was transferring them over. And if you don't do it right, you have to relog and then you try to challenge and send a friend a challenge and it just doesn't get it. So I figured out when you transfer after the car and you're in that lobby, and if you get the car, you're in the lobby, and the guy who loses the car is booted out, of course, because he lost his car. You're sitting in the lobby. You have to click on your car to make yourself not busy. If you're busy and you go back to the garage, it'll screw everything up. But if you tap the little icon at the bottom and make yourself, not busy, then you can go back to the garage and you can still keep throwing that invite back and forth, and it won't screw anything up. So it took a little while, but I can't say that it's 100%. But I didn't have any issues with it, and that's what I did. So there's that. I just wanted to bring that up because Lorenzo was saying fix the logging in. So make sure you're not busy, then go back to the garage, and it seems to work for me, Lorenzo. So try it out. Let me know what you think. Um, so the Players Summit now. We're talking about the Player Summit. How about afterwards, the aftermath? Do you think? How do you think? What do you think the state of the game is, in your opinion? From you as a gamer standpoint, what do you think the state of the game is?
Honestly, I mean, I think there's many pros as to where the game stands now, and then
Mm-hmm.
there are cons as well.
Mm.
For me personally, the biggest con is the flooding of content. And I mean, what I mean by that is it seems like every single day a new car is dropping or a rehash of a previous car is dropping, and it's just a constant barrage of
It
cars.
is, and that I was gonna say. I was talking about this to somebody the other day, and we could talk about it now, of course. But yes, like especially during this Christmas event, there was tons of cars, tons, tons, and tons. Like not only are there Fast and Furious cars, I don't know if they're out yet or they're coming out. Um, but we had the 12 Days of Racemas, we had the Gumdrop cars, we had which there's all these different cars here. And which crate is this? There's one of the Christmas, the Advent crate. Ooh, I have something here. Token for one. I'll open that up while we're BSing. But the holiday
Enjoy your
crate.
red headlights.
I mean, we have how many here? We have one, two, three, four, five, six. Six in the holiday crate. I don't think there's any in the Advent. I think that's just mainly um, headlights and stuff like that. I love this paint, by the way, the ice blue paint. But yeah, the constant just like Blue Underglow. All right. So the constant, new content, car after car after car. I don't even have a chance to buy one car, let alone two or three or four, all of them, and try them out. It just seems so much. It's like they could kind of space it out. They could probably like give themselves a little bit of a breather and do like one or two cars a week. I think, and that would still be a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but yeah, here it is. 1656 is what this gumdrop car maxes out at. You were asking about that earlier, so I'm
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah. As I said, I was playing with the build on my end and kind of figured it out. Thank you for your help with that.
Uh,
Haven't raced it yet, but
no, it's. I did a few races the other day. It's a pain in the butt, to be honest. And anybody who's consistent at it, man, high five to you, because the drop is a little after the third light, and that needle falls so fast, and it's like at a 64, 6500 launch. So you drop and you almost have to launch immediately. It's crazy. So
yeah.
yeah, it's really,
I have
really
to give them
tough.
credit. It's one of the most original cars in the game. I mean, and this goes back to the days of the top full dragster.
Yeah.
To me, it was one of the coolest cars because I could see this thing being built and run at a local soapbox derby, for
I know
example.
that's what I loved about it. It was originally for the very first April Fool's event, and I
Yeah,
love it. To this day, it's my favorite car. I mean, maybe not to race it, but I think just in creativity and just the way it looks and everything about it, it's so unique, and I really like it. And the fact that they keep bringing it back, I really like that as well because it just doesn't go away and you forget about it. They bring it back. They had the few different wraps like last year. They had the silver, the bronze, the gold wrap for an event they did. I forget what that event was, but they had that. And now they have the gumdrop, the gingerbread cars, which are freaking awesome. I really like them. I just like it all together, and I'm glad they kind of bring it back from time to time. So I don't know. Any predictions? Any things you'd like to see added to the game?
well, like I'd like to see the joining the friends thing be a bit more stable.
Uh huh.
Um, I'm very happy that they changed the chat system, and the chat seems to be pretty reliable now.
Yeah.
Meaning, when you send somebody a message, you don't get unable to send or all those issues.
Yep, I was the that was one of the most frustrating things was the fact that I couldn't even chat with friends. They revamped it, dropped the old chat system, built a whole new one from the ground up, and
Yeah.
I haven't had a single issue with it since. I think it's really top notch. So that's good.
Yep. Um, as I
The,
say, the tweak to the friends list where you get a notification that someone's trying to join you instead of, 1 minute you have 30 friends and then you're in a lobby and 10
mhm.
minutes later you have 130 friends and you weren't even aware that people were adding you. I like the fact that they've changed that and it requires an
Ah,
approval now.
okay, yeah. So the one thing though, it does kind of frustrate me is when you're in there's a couple things, and it all has to do with the scrolling, whether it's scrolling through players when you're in a lobby. Like right now, I'm trying to scroll, it's not moving. It's not moving at all. Maybe
Yep.
there's just not enough people in the lobby, but it does a weird reset thing every now and again, and it's
Yep.
all
Let's say
glitchy. Like
it
right there, I don't
does
know if you
that when
guys
you're
just saw
tuning your
that.
car.
It's
Let's say it'll
really
do that when you're in the garage and building cars as well. You'll
yes,
go back to the upgrade screen and sometimes it'll jump back 4 or 5 cars.
exactly. It jumps back, and I don't know where I'm at. I'm like, well, what car am I at now? Like when I'm racing, I like to go in order so I know this one needs repaired, next one, and it jumps around all the time, and I can't quite figure out where the heck am I? Is this a car that has a good tune? Is this one that's kind of, busted and needs, some changes? And it keeps jumping back and forth. And then the other thing is it always, not always, it seems to reset the sorting options. Like you may have it on alphabetical and then it'll jump back to earliest acquired or latest acquired. It's
Yep.
never really
Yep.
consistent.
Yep.
So
I've experienced that same issue as well.
I'm gonna
Now,
try
as I
to,
say, too, being that I see you're in a lobby, one positive thing would be the lobby ratings that they have added.
yeah,
Because when it comes to tuning your car, it makes it a lot easier to figure out
that's
what
right.
bucket it's dropping your car into.
That's right. They added that lobby rating there so you can see where you're at. And there's no guessing anymore. I like it.
Yep.
That dude knows how to race this thing. 9.435. I'm almost questioning that. That's a fast time. I mean, I know it can be done, so hey.
It goes to the age-old adage: no matter how fast you are, there's always somebody faster.
Yep, no matter how. Yep, that's just the way it goes. Hey, my buddy Edward. Yep. So, I mean, I had a horrible, I wasn't really in the mindset here, but
So no pressure. Your viewers are watching, but no pressure.
yeah, I've done worse. So I got to practice up here before I actually go into turf and try to make some points. Doesn't seem like I can win.
Yeah, I will ask you. This is a controversial topic, and I've
Okay, I
seen
love
so
it.
many people. As I say, there's so many people for it, and there's just as many people against it.
Yeah.
What's your take on ghost shifting?
Ghost shifting. I think I've mentioned this a few times in the past to some people, but officially, I'm 50-50, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Okay, 50-50. First of all, I love ghost shifting. I love the added challenge. I think it's so fun. It's just another way. The name of the game is to go as fast as possible. You know, I mean, that said, is you want to beat your opponent, and you know, if that's how you do it, that's how you do it. Now, oh, is he gonna catch me? He's gonna catch me. Oh, looks like I won. Okay, so so basically, I love ghost shifting. I like the extra challenge. I think it's great, but I don't believe it adds very much. I don't think it adds very much to the game. I don't believe it adds much positivity. I think it takes away more than it gives, and it divides the community for one. Um, so I don't think, if I had to say, I would say take it out. I love it. I love it. I think it's great, but I just think it just takes away too much from the game, and it kind of takes away from the. I think it just takes away from the game too much. I mean, what do you think? You like it?
Um, uh, I'm kind of on the same opinion you are. I can see the arguments against it, and I can see the arguments for it. And me
Mm-hmm.
personally, once I came across it, I figured it was just one more hurdle
Mm-hmm.
that I had to learn, to be competitive in the game. Because,
Right.
like, for example, back when we started playing, I mean, there was no, no one told you about lobby brackets or anything like that. It was kind of trial and error, and you either got on a team where people took you under their wing and explained it to you,
Mm-hmm.
or it was a trial by fire. You kept playing until you figured out what was going on and
Right.
made a mental note of it.
Right. And the thing about it that I think on one hand is anybody can learn it. If you can race and you can shift what people call normal shifting, there's no reason that you can't learn how to go shift. I mean,
Yep. The only thing that I'm, skeptical I've heard Prodigal Grim make comments on the carbonated live stream.
mm-hmm.
They were hinting at the idea of removing it completely in the future.
Yep.
Whether or not they're going to follow through on that, I don't know. But for those experienced players that have been around for a while, there was a point where they changed something in the game because they realized what you were seeing on your device versus what was being recorded on the server were two different numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And they changed the entire lobby rating / tuning system. And I have a
Yes.
feeling when they change ghost shifting, because it's such a big part of, I'm trying to think how to explain it. It's such a big part of the game, for lack of a better way to explain the detail.
Right.
When they change it, it may cause havoc and cause everybody to have to retune every car in their garage all over again.
Well,
So,
I hope that doesn't
yeah,
happen. But if they do take it away, I hope it just has something to do with if, because when you go shift, it doesn't, you can look, it doesn't shift, obviously. One of them is going to be late and early, depending on, it's not going to be a perfect. So I'm hoping there's a way they can just detect, when and how you shift, and then just give you a time penalty, such as if you hit the wall, or if you shifted really early, as like if you're regular, like a regular shift. and just add that time penalty so you don't have to really change the formula so it doesn't screw up anybody's tunes and all that. There should be, I was wondering, there's got to be some way that they can detect how you're shifting, and maybe just put a timer in between shifts. And if it's less than point, you know, 0.010, they know it's a go shift and therefore your time's going to go down.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. There must be a million different ways. I'm not a programmer and I don't know the ins and outs of the game and how this affects that, but I would love to believe that, I would hope that there's a way that they can change it without actually screwing up the tunes again, because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you screw up people's tunes again, it was chaos and it just wreaked havoc on the community the first time. And I don't think people still haven't gotten over it. They still bring it up. Like, I'm not the biggest tuner in the world, so it didn't really affect me much. But there are people that spent massive amounts of money and time and effort into tuning. And then when you screw it up, some people just go, you know what? Screw it. I'm back at square one, zero. I'm done. And they just walk away. They find that it's easier to walk away than to rebuild. And I
Yep.
hope that doesn't happen. So,
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody. So,
no,
for every one person you make happy, you're going to make one person aggravated.
no,
And I mean, I see it all the
absolutely.
time when I monitor the Facebook feeds. You'll
Mm-hmm.
see people like, hey, I can't connect to the game. Give me free gems and give me a car.
Right,
It's like, well, wait a minute. You can't connect to the game, so you want gems and a car in a game that you can't get access to. Can't
right.
really say that I follow that, but
No, no, it's like that old saying: you can please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please all of the people all of the time.
exactly. Exactly. Because I
So,
mean, I remember when they gave out the Cobra Jet, and this is going back to the S Class Cobra Jet.
hmm
For as many people that were excited because that car came out, I seen almost immediately people like, hey, you just devalued this car. Now this car's worth it. So it was kind of like, well, you begged for a free car, you got a free car, and now you're complaining. So did you really want a free car?
right. And I gotta
Yeah,
say that doesn't bother me, and I'm maybe one of the few people. I don't care about the value of a car. To me, the value of a car doesn't mean anything because I very rarely buy or sell on the black market. Now,
agreed.
the only reason a car would have value is if you're going to buy or sell in the black market. Now, I know they don't support it, but you kind of do have to realize that it is a driving force behind the game somewhat. So you kind of do have to address it behind closed doors. But the only if if it's a high value, well, the thing is like I said, you're going to please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please them all the time because some people, and I've heard it both ways. Oh my gosh, they're greedy, and they're talking about buyers and sellers on the black market. You're greedy. You just want to sell this and make a ton of money. But then when it comes time to buy, they want the price as low as possible. But the same people, when they want to sell, oh, you've devalued it. There's nothing, and they want the highest price possible. And you can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have the price high when you want to sell and low when you want to buy. It just doesn't work that way. So that's the way it is. But it kind of reminds me of something. I read this a while ago, and I'm gonna try to change the conversation between a racing rival, a player, and carbonated. Okay, now, if I remember how it goes. So the player says, "I want more of that thing I fell in love with." All right, carbonated says, "Okay, here's more of that thing." The player says, well, you're just repeating the same stuff you did before. I want something new. Carbonated says, okay, well, here's something different. And then the player says, well, I didn't say different. I said new. Carbonated goes, okay, like scratching their head, like, what do you want? The player says, you changed the thing I love. You ruined it. And, well, Carbonated says, you said you wanted something new. Player says, but I didn't mean it like that. I wanted more of the same. Carbonated says, I gave you more of the same. Player says, but I didn't mean it like that. So then you have a new player that says, I like the new thing. And then you have an old player that says, go to hell. You know, so I mean, you can't please all the people all of the time. Like, you know, you want new stuff, but then when they give us new stuff, people whine and cry, and then if it's not this and not that, you're never going to please anybody. So, you know, that's just the way it is. I'm going to see if I can race this guy. He's been sitting here. I think he's been challenging me. So, but that's the way I see it, you know.
Mr. King Savage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fouled out. Boy, this car is tough. I got to spend some time trying to figure it out. I was gonna go for top. I was gonna go actually for. I was gonna go for a top 10 team this week, but the gumdrop car. I was like, I have no clue how many points I can do with it, and if the team wanted 20,000 men, I don't know if I can do that. Like, I don't know how many points you get per win here. Like 100 points maybe, and if that's the case, that's what 200 races. That's a lot of. That's a 200 wins.
Well, I was going to say that can kind of segue into the next talking point. What do you think about the point system and the revamp as far as points awarded depending on how your car is built and what lobby it's in?
I gotta say, I don't really have many issues with the point system lately. I mean, I just go in, and that's just my opinion as it is right now. But you go in, I race, and I know certain cars I race. The only thing that I did have a problem with is I really like the idea of lobby events. I thought that was the coolest thing, and it just didn't seem to work out. There were some issues they had to kind of iron out, and it went away. You know, they changed the events real quick. I hope it comes back. I really, really like the idea of lobby racing, but I think there was some sort of issue with the points because I was racing. It was something low, like a 1645 lobby. And here's the problem for me. The points, you would race one race, you would use one boost, and you would get ridiculous 45 points or something, 50 points. And I'm like, so I'm going to sit here and spend the same amount of time. I'm going to spend all my gems and boosts and get at the end of the event 10,000 points for busting my hump. Okay. But then the next event, which is an R2, I can get 10,000 points in 10 races.
Yep.
And that's if I don't
if
crush.
you win 2 pinks back to back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if I crush 2, done. And I'm done. So it didn't make sense to me to say, hey, I know there should have been some sort of modifier saying, hey, we're either going to take these R2 classes, these other events, and we're going to lower them, and we're going to try to make all 3 events even. That way, people are going to race all of them because all 3 hold equal amounts of, weight. Not like, oh, well, that first event, I'm not even going to race it because I'm only going to get 10,000 points, where I can get 10,000 points in this next event in 2 or 3 races. So you have to bump those up to kind of equal the others, so they're all equally competitive within the 3 turf events to make it successful. And I don't know why they ended up pulling the plug on it so quick, but I know there were some issues. But down the road, I think they need to balance the points out. That's the only issue I've seen. Now, I know a lot of people, there's one issue that a lot of people have been mentioning, and it's when you're racing in turf and somebody fouls out.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my opinion on it, but I want to make sure my facts are straight because I've never actually paid much attention. So when I'm racing you, me and you are in turf, all right? We'll say we race and I foul out, all right? You get a very limited, decreased amount of points. We'll say you get 150 points, where if you won the race, you would have gotten 600-700, okay? Now,
yep.
But here's where I think it, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't get any engine damage, do you?
No, you don't use a boost. You don't get any engine damage.
And that's exactly what I've been thinking, because if that's the case, it doesn't matter. There's a free point. People whine and cry because I'm only getting 120 points. Yes, but those are free points. Free points. You didn't get any engine damage. You didn't spend a boost. You don't have to use any gems or anything. So I don't see a problem with it. I think it's the right thing to do. Now, do you like getting 120 points? No, when you think you could have gotten 700, but they're free. You lose any engine, you didn't get any engine damage, you didn't lose any boost. So I really think that's the right thing to do. So I
Yeah,
think,
I agree.
um, trying to see what I'm trying to watch the live chat. Have you seen any good questions or comments? I've kind of been missing it. I've been racing and
It seems to be everybody's talking about ghost shifting and what cars are good, what cars are bad,
yeah.
how much they hate it.
Is that the consensus here? Most people hate ghost shifting.
It seems to be a mixed bag, and I
Okay.
see it on the forums and I see it on Facebook. For every person that hates it, there's another person that likes it.
Well,
So it's,
absolutely. I mean, I honestly, like I said, I really, really like it, but I think it takes away from the game more than it gives. I think it causes more chaos and just ill feelings. People who are racing and lose a car to it. Um, and you can tell a ghost shifter because by now we know that times a good time for a Subi Coupe in the 1650 lobby, ghost shifted versus non-ghost shifted, and you can tell. And I think it just creates a lot of animosity. And unfortunately, we play a video game, and I don't know my opponent so much, and they don't really know me. So the only way to vent is for most people to kind of distribute their anger towards carbonated. It's their game and they should do something about this and blah, 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 and that's where they vent their frustration towards it. And it's just not a good thing to have that going on. I think you can eliminate it by, unfortunately, eliminating ghost shifting altogether. And am I getting light lagged here?
Well, the only other thing that I run into, and we can touch on this, is like, let's say, for example, they have a C class event. You know as well as I do, when you go into a C class 56 lobby, the only thing you're going to see is 2000 Scooby Coupes or Ghost Shift capable cars.
Uh-huh.
And what that ends up doing is you'll have a garage of, we'll say, 1,500 cars, and you're only going to use roughly, we'll say, a small percentage of them because any car that's not Ghost Shift capable, you're
Uh-huh.
probably going to have a hard time or an impossible time being competitive. So you don't even bother.
Yeah.
Because touching back on what you said earlier, you want to take advantage of every single opportunity available to the player to try to win. Ergo, ghost shifting, using boost, having a car that's the fastest possible, et cetera, et cetera. So it only makes sense that you're going to see a lobby full of Subi Coupes because nothing else will be competitive, which, in my opinion, kind of ruins the game in a way.
Yes. So that's definitely a way to look at it. I don't know. I'm just trying to see. I'm going to check live chat and see if other people have that same opinion. Did you see what just happened here? I don't know if you're watching. I just got light lagged, or at least that's what it seemed like. And I lost the race. Both of us have 0.000 reaction time and a 0.
Now, here's the thing on that. I've seen a lot of comments on this where people complain about this and they say, oh, the guy light lagged me and he stole the win. Now, if you think about it, you both have zeros. If you look at your consolation prize, you got $50, but you didn't gain any engine damage and you didn't lose a boost. So technically, the race was never even run.
So I wonder
when people are saying, oh, they lagged me out and they stole the win. It's like, no, they didn't. They didn't steal anything. You didn't win, but you didn't lose.
Right. And I wonder if on their end, if it shows they've lost too. Like on my end, it shows I lost. Maybe they see they lost, or is it
that
just
I don't
a visual
know.
thing? I wonder. That's interesting. Yeah, you're right, though. All right.
But I have that argument in lobbies all the time. And, of course, in a lobby, everybody's a racing rivals expert. So you can't really reason with anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Blame it. Sean Fox says, blame it on Drama Kings.
Hey, come on. Lex is a good guy. Let's not be too harsh on him.
I'm trying to get
I can't speak for the rest of the team because I don't know him, but I do know Lex personally, and I can't say anything bad about him.
Yeah. No. He's a good guy. I met him in person that one time at the Players Summit, and good guy. I had you know, he helped out plenty by giving out some secrets that most people would never want to give out just
Yeah.
because they want to continue winning. But he did. He gave out a lot of information that he didn't have to. And
Yeah. And I will be vague as well. And I remember specifically when he showed a specific thing,
uh-huh.
and several of the carbonated staff were like, "We didn't even imagine someone playing the game in that fashion."
Right. You're
And
looking
it kind
at
of
it, you
blew their
go,
hair back.
well, I heard about it. I mean, I know a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people in this game. Just people know me and they come to me and talk, and I talk to people, and I enjoy talking with people. And I've heard about that type of thing, and I get up to be vague here. I think it's gone, but I'm not sure yet. Um, but you hear about it, but when you see it in person, you go, "Wow, people are really ingenuitive." I guess when you think
Yeah.
about it, to go to such lengths to do some of the stuff they do. And I just sit here like this and I go, okay, I'm just going to go to the lobby. I'm going to go to the track and race somebody. But there's other people out there that not so much. They're going to try to get the advantage in any way, shape, or form that they can.
Yeah.
So,
I say the lengths that I've seen people go to, like for example, we'll touch base on tuning cars.
mm-hmm.
There are some people that are from other countries, we'll say, that have literally boards of devices that are all tied together,
Yeah.
and they'll tune 250 cars at a time.
Yeah.
And you can make deals with these people and have literally thousands of cars built for you in a few
Mm-hmm.
hours.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to think about it; it's another thing to see it in person
Right.
and realize, the thought and whatnot that went into it. It's like
Right.
it's insane. It's on a whole nother level.
I mean, I just go through and just transferring cars from one of my accounts to another, getting ready. That gets my brain all knotted up. I'm like, which one is challenging? Which one is hitting pinks? Which one is this account? But then to see what some of these other people, how many accounts do they juggle around on? Oh my gosh, man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Beast Gaming wants me to grab a Honda NSX RR, but I don't believe I have one on this account. So, whoa, invalid race. Both players lost. um, I don't think I actually have one on this account. So I wish I could, bro, but I don't think I have one on this account. So there's something else I want. Oh, you know what? This is the other thing. What I want to hear your opinion. This right here. I turfed 2 or 3 days ago with a team. Good friend of mine, Craig, admin on my group, has a team mob MOB, and I was on it, and we turfed. It was a Euro event, and I forget we hit like rank 11, I think, which we raced all day long. And in my game, in my garage right here, sits this Mazda RX-7 Race Edition. It's got this really cool ugly sweater wrap, really nice car, but it has the ugly, even uglier than the ugly sweater is this little pink slock on there. What's your opinion on the pink slock?
Uh, um, it's a catch-22 in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the turf cars and the rewards being pink locked, I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to reserve. I was brought up that if you have nothing nice to say, then you don't say anything at all.
Okay.
So you can read between the lines there.
I'll fill in the
Um,
lines with my opinion. I think it sucks. I
yeah,
think
I was
pink
gonna say now.
slocks for turf cars, for
Well,
reward cars, sucks. Hands down.
well, I think on the other hand, though, the caveat,
Mm-hmm.
as you know, like if you're a new player, or I should say an experienced player, you knew about campaign farming and how to get money through doing that by selling, the campaign cars and what have you.
Absolutely.
They've taken that away, which is kind of nice. But now with these pink locked cars, you can go into lobbies and you can race for money, and you don't have that situation where you raise a mill and then someone says, "Well, I don't want to race you for a mill." Now you got to risk your car.
Right.
And if you cancel the race, you lose your money and you're out.
Right.
Whereas now they don't have that option anymore. With a pink locked car, you can specifically race for money and follow through on the actual race.
Right. You're basically racing with a safety net, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I understand they had to do it for certain, like you said, for the campaign. there was money farming, and I got to say, I made the videos. I'm guilty. I put the videos out there, showed people how to do it. I figured, hey, if people are going to do it, let me show you how to do it. This is the proper way to not waste your time. Here's to get the most out of it. And, that's fine. I don't have a problem with the turf, and I've said this over and over, and everybody, there's different opinions out there. Um, but I don't think it's a bad thing for the campaign cars, but turf cars like this, I am
Yeah.
absolutely hands down against it. I don't see the logic in it. Top 10 teams get a car, then I don't know how many other people with the pinks lock off, they can pinks it, but everybody else gets one with a pinks lock on it. I just don't understand it. Now you have the pinks lock, and they're going to be in lobbies. Everybody got one. I mean, there are tons of them. They're going to be in lobbies now during a Mazda event or a JDM or whatever. I don't know what that is, if it's a R class or R2, whatever. There's a million different events that car is going to be eligible for. They're going to be in those lobbies now, challenging you, and they don't have a care in the world because nobody can raise them for pinks,
Right.
and it just
Yeah.
sucks.
I say there's a gentleman in the YouTube chat is Edward Lopez 2YT said he sold his top 25 pinks locked car. It's worthless. I raced for it and I deserve a pinkable car because I worked for the vehicle. It wasn't quote unquote free, as Carbonated said when they introduced the non-pinkables. And
Right,
he makes a very good point.
right.
When Carbonated introduced the whole pinks lock thing, it was supposed to be any car that they gave out for free. They wanted to stop people from creating hundreds of accounts and accruing hundreds of these cars.
Uh-huh.
Think back to the RSRE when that whole fiasco happened.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So,
And
in that aspect, I agree. Now, the turf cars being locked, he makes a very good point. If you spent your weekend racing for the car, at the end of the day, I mean, whether it be a 1 day event or a 3 day event, you should be able to do with the car what you want, considering you worked to get it.
right,
So for them to have a stipulation where they can lock it down, I have to agree with his point. I don't think it's fair.
right. Like me, I forget. I only did the last event. I don't know. We didn't have to do that many points because it was a 1 day event, but I think I put up like 60K points. We ended up getting 11th place. Now I put up 60,000 points, and it wasn't free. Like I spent money on boosts. I spent money on damage. I spent money. I lost cars. I won cars. I crushed cars. So it definitely wasn't free. It wasn't a handout. And then for me to get one car that is locked kind of makes all that effort useless, pointless. I get nothing out of it. I don't have a car. I can't, do anything with it. Oh, I mean, I can race it single. I can go to the lobby and race it. But man, I race for pinks. I like pinks. That's what I do. Race for money, pinks. Um, but it kind of just puts the brakes on all that. It kind of kills it. And I
Yeah.
don't like it.
I mean,
And people are
considering
saying,
this whole
well,
game is
if you want
around
one, you
your
should.
ability to pink your opponent, it's kind of like, are you guys shooting yourself in the foot? Like,
Right. And now they're just going to be in lobbies, just challenging like crazy, raising for money. If they want to raise for money, that's what the car they're going to jump in. They don't have to worry about losing it. You know?
Yep.
They don't have to worry about risking the pinks to keep that money they put up. So I just don't like it. I think it's really good for the campaign, and I'll be honest, I think it is. I like that. But as far as turf rewards, I hope that goes away, and I hope we never see it again, to be honest.
I agree. There's an interesting question post that says, Pigpen, the one and only, if you had to choose a car from racing rivals to be your daily driver for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Top full dragster. I love that car. If I had to pick a car in the game as my daily driver, well, if it's going to be my daily driver, it's got to be practical. No, man, that's a tough question. Like
The Scion XB Dragster.
the lunchbox.
Yeah. It's got all the power, and you can haul your gear with it all at the same time, the family, groceries, whatever the case may be.
Nah, let's see. A buddy of mine had a Scion TC, and it was purple. We just rode him hard, man. Never let him live that down. Purple car. And he kept saying, "No, it's royal eggplant or something like that." Nah, it's purple. So, not a Scion TC. Nothing wrong with that car other than the fact that it's discontinued. I don't know, man. Maybe a Toyota Supra. I like the Mitsubishi Evo 8. Uh,
Well, as I can already answer what my choice would be. Oh
I was
wait,
gonna
I've already
say
done
I
it.
should
So,
ask you, other than the Ford Mustang, what would yours be?
um, um, it's a tough call, honestly. It would probably be the '69 Camaro Race Edition with the
Oh,
half stack sticking through the hood.
with okay, all right, all right. So just reading through some of the live chat here. Lorenzo says Evo RE. Then my buddy Tech Assassin, they wanted to give out free cars to everyone, but they didn't want them to be farmed. I see that aspect. It still was a silly idea. I get it. I understand. I'm with you there, Tech. I just don't think top 10 to top 1 should be the only ones that have Pink's Lock off. That's only what? 200 cars, is it, in the
Yeah,
game that are.
yeah. You figure 20 slots per team times 10 teams. Yeah, 200
Yeah.
cars.
So, but anything other than that has a Pink's Lock on them. And I know they didn't want like the Ford Focus RSRE, which I gotta tell you, like, me personally, I love it. I love it when a car has just an excess amount out there, like the Ford Focus RSRE, because it means your chances of getting a Pinks race has just jumped up 10 times. And I love Pinks. If everybody out there, if has 1,000 of them, then there's going to be so many Pinks races out there. The excitement level is going to be that much higher. I just like it.
Yep.
I mean,
It's
there's
all
that.
about that adrenaline rush.
Now, if they made it so, I don't know, drop the points down when you crush it, maybe you get less points, so it's not farmed like that. It's not for self crushing. You want to give people a bonus for crushing it, but maybe cut the bonus down so you don't have somebody feeding and they're crushing cars nonstop getting points. And also make it so when it sells back to the garage, make it $1. So therefore they're not farming it for money. It's out there strictly for racing. So people spend boosts, race pinks, and just have fun. And I think that's what really gets. That's why I like the game. That's what attracted me to the game. Pinks is just having that sweaty palms and that nervous feeling, like the adrenaline shooting through you. Like there's no other game out there that really gives me that feeling other than Racing Rivals, and that's why I play it. It's exciting. I just have a great time, and without that, it's just like I might as well be playing Minecraft, just kind of sitting there zoned out like a zombie. Here, at least I'm on the edge of my seat, I got the adrenaline going. It's great. Oh,
Right. Well, since you said
that's a tough
Minecraft,
question there, Sean. I can't even answer that. If you had to choose the community manager, who would you want? Rist or Daniel? I can't even answer that because they're both good community managers. It's like apples and oranges. Could you choose to only have apples for the rest of your life or just oranges? No, you can't. I couldn't make that decision. I really can't. I think they're both good guys. Timing, though, is everything. And I think one of them gets more flack from the community than the other. Um, just I don't know. I don't know. I don't even want to get into that. I don't even want to go there. So, but I can't. I couldn't choose. Couldn't choose, man. Who's that? Syndicate. Indo Earthquake. So, um, trying to catch up on the live chat. I should do a contest, a giveaway, shouldn't I? What do you guys think? So we've been, whoa, dude,
Well,
we've been chatting here for about an hour.
yeah. When it comes to giveaways, I have a car I can donate to the cause.
Well, let me see what I have. Joe, I love your hoodie. Hey, that's right. My Racing Rivals hoodie. You have one of these, don't you?
I do.
And I like wearing it. It's just, it's not too heavy, not too light. Like I'm in my basement. It's a bit chilly down here. It was like 50 degrees, 54 degrees down here. I don't have heat. So I put this on and it's nice and comfortable, but I'm not sweating my ass off here. So let me see if I can find a car to give away. Like latest
Well,
acquired. I won some car. I won some nice cars. Well, nothing crazy, crazy nice, but this one, this Lamborghini, I won this from somebody. They put this up against mine, and I won that. Won all these other BMWs, rough rhythm, rough rhythm. Oh, this one, I love this car. This BMW Empty Rivals Edition. Look at this paint, though. It's got that two-tone paint. I really hope they do more of that. Look at that. That is just sick looking. It's probably one of my
that,
favorite paints in the game. I wish I could take that off and put it on another car. Um,
I have a 2016 Cobra Jet that has a two-tone paint job on it that I
yeah,
really like what they're doing with the paint models.
yeah, they're really stepping it up with that. What about this car? I'll give this car away. I won this car the other night. I'll never race it. Lamborghini Aventador Super Veloce. Um, it is a pinkable car, which is good because I can pass it off. um, I am going to see. Okay, so I have empty. Okay, I have some empty spots on my friends list here. So, um, Roush, why don't you help me out? How do we give away a car in live chat? Like, we'll have a contest. Hmm, something that people should know. Oh, never mind. I got it. Somebody's gonna. Oh no. Hmm. Should I just do a random pick, maybe,
Um,
or
I
should we
don't
do
know.
it
I'm trying to think what your
trivia?
followers would and or should know.
Something about racing rivals. Thanks for your tutorials, Steve Thomas. You're welcome, my man. Appreciate it.
Uh,
Appreciate all the support. So we're gonna have to. Somebody's got to have pick a number 1 through 1. Oh, actually, that's a good idea. That's just a simple one, and I'm gonna have to watch the chat. So I'm gonna write down a number. That's an easy one. I'm gonna write down a number here on my notepad, and I'll put it up. I got it. I'm gonna write down a number here. Guys, don't start guessing numbers yet because it's not gonna work. If I see you putting up numbers before, excuse me. All right, I have a number here, and I'm writing it down. Okay.
and it's not 69.
No, no, or maybe it is. You never know. Okay, now I'm going to put it up and hold it here in front of the camera at all times. So there we go. Now start guessing. The first one to guess it, the first time I see that number in live chat, someone's going to win. And I'm going to have to freeze it here when I see it. So keep going, guys. And then I'll have to, nope. Keep guessing. Nope. This might take a while, or maybe it'll be really quick. And it was 1 to 100, by the way. I should have said that. Oh my gosh, this is going wicked
Well,
fast. Oh my gosh, it's going fast. Okay, I'm gonna have to scroll slow. No. No. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I think I just bit off more than I could chew here.
talk about opening the floodgates.
Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna go through and slowly scroll down until I see my number. It could be there. Oh my gosh. So the first time I see it, I'm not going to open the paper up until somebody gets the number. Open the paper, dummy, he says. Oh, this seems like it's a setup, but I swear it's not. Okay. I swear it's not a setup, you guys. I didn't tell anybody, but I see the number 72. Edward Lopez right there. 72. He was the first one to guess that I see. I don't see 72 anywhere else.
There you go.
So, Edward, congratulations. Maybe I'll do another one, and this time.
I was going to say, yeah, I could do a giveaway as well, if that's okay.
Yeah, if you would like to, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. This will go out to your viewers for anybody that's been watching the stream because it's been going on for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
The first person that can tell me the year of my personal Mustang, I will give them a 1989 RWB Pandora 1.
Oh, let's watch the, hey, from Holyoke. So let's see if we can find someone who can guess the year of your personal Mustang. Let's see, 2004, 2004.
We have a winner. That would be Mr. Tech Assassin. Congratulations.
2005. That was quick. So there we go.
He just gave me back a car that he won from me a little while ago.
Oh, yeah? Wow. All right. So I'll have to give my car away here. And this goes to Edward Lopez, which is not in the lobby. I'll have to get him that. I'll see if he can see watch. Let's see if I can show you. All right. I'll show you what I do when I'm transferring cars and how it kind of. Alex Martinez, winner. He says penis. There we go.
This isn't the right website for that, but there's enough of that out there.
If you're looking for that, there's plenty out there. You know where to go, I'm sure. All right. So, well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. We had a really awesome live stream. Guys, if you haven't caught on, down at the bottom of the screen, my guest is Stephen Conlin Jr., a.k.a. Roush Sport, fellow racing rival player who's been playing. How long have you been playing?
Well, you got to figure since the CIE days, so at least 4 years.
Yep, okay. So, been playing at least 4 years. Player council attendee, and just all around interesting guy to talk to. Very, hey, Centra, Sir VQ with the super chat, $2. Thank you for your support. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. So, anyways, Roush Sport here with one of the coolest, absolute, hands down, coolest cars out there. We'll go right back. Here it is. You guys have seen it. I'm going to scroll through some of these pictures again. This is his personal car. And if you look through, we'll go through, show off some of these pictures in case you guys missed them earlier. Really awesome. Awesome wrap. And it all stems back to this 2015 Ford Mustang Race Edition in-game wrap that he loves so much. That is really awesome that he decided to put it on his own personal car right here. 2005 Ford Mustang, and he can go into the details to tell you what Mustang it is, but that's that.
Well,
Beautiful
you just
car.
watch the live stream, Zach, because we covered it all earlier.
Yeah. So there we have it. Stephen, Roush, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for live streaming and taking close to 2.5 hours out of your, what is this, Friday? Or is this Saturday? Saturday. I'm all screwed up. I'm on a holiday shutdown from work, and I haven't been to work in almost a week and a half now. I'm all screwed up. I don't know what day is what, but so thanks for
Amen to that.
thanks for
Again,
taking.
thank you for having. Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. Thanks for taking like 2.5 hours out of your Saturday evening to hang out with us and live stream. And apologize for all the technical difficulties we had, but I appreciate you sticking around. Appreciate everybody watching. We'll see you guys real soon. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, turn those video notifications on so you never miss any of my live streams. Take care.
Yeah.